You wake up in the morning and you have the best intentions. You want to protect your heart. You want to lose that stubborn belly fat. You want to have energy that lasts all day. So you go to the kitchen and you prepare what you have been told for decades is the heart-healthy gold standard. You pour a bowl of instant oatmeal. Maybe you slice a nice ripe banana on top for some potassium, and you wash it down with a glass of orange juice for your vitamin C. It sounds perfect, doesn't it? It sounds innocent, but I want you to listen to me very closely right now because what I am about to tell you might scare you, but it is going to save your life. That specific combination, oatmeal, banana, and fruit juice, is a metabolic bomb. If I were to take a healthy person with no history of diabetes and I fed them that exact breakfast and then I measured their blood sugar 45 minutes later, do you know what I would see? I would see numbers that look identical to uncontrolled type 2 diabetes. We are talking about massive spikes in blood glucose, followed by a surge of insulin that is damaging your arteries, destroying your energy, and locking your body into fat storage mode for the rest of the day. You are not nourishing your body. You are inflaming it. You are literally rusting your organs from the inside out. And the tragedy is that you think you're doing the right thing because the marketing on the box says heart healthy. But in the next 30 minutes, I am going to peel back the curtain. I am going to show you exactly what happens inside your bloodstream when you eat this healthy breakfast. We're going to look at the physiology of why this combination is dangerous, especially in the morning. But more importantly, I'm not just going to leave you with the problem. I am going to show you the solution. I'm going to teach you how to remix your morning routine. I'm going to show you how to eat the foods you love in a specific way that keeps your blood sugar stable, protects your arteries, and turns your body into a fat-burning machine. This information is powerful. It goes against everything the food industry wants you to believe, but it is the truth, and your body is going to thank you for it. I'm Dr. Alan Mandell. Let's get to work. Now, to understand why this breakfast is so dangerous, we have to look at what's happening on a microscopic level. We need to talk about naked carbs. When you eat instant oatmeal, you are eating a grain that has been processed, steamed, rolled, and pulverized. The outer shell, the fiber, the part that slows down digestion has been largely broken down so that it cooks fast in your microwave. When you put that spoonful of soft, warm oatmeal into your mouth, an enzyme in your saliva called amylase starts working immediately. Because the oats are so processed, they turn into glucose sugar before they even hit your stomach. Then you add the banana. Now, I love bananas. They are a gift from nature. But modern bananas have been hybridized to be incredibly sweet. As a banana ripens and gets those brown spots, its starch turns almost entirely into fructose and glucose. It is a sugar stick. Then, the orange juice. This is the biggest offender. When you squeeze the juice out of the fruit and leave the fiber behind in the rind, you are drinking pure liquid fructose. It creates a tsunami of sugar that bypasses your body's fullness signals and hits your liver like a freight train. So, here is the scenario. It's 8 a.m. Your stomach is empty. You consume this triple threat of instant starch, ripe fruit sugar, and liquid sugar. Within 15 to 30 minutes, this massive load of glucose floods your bloodstream. Now, your body is a miracle. It wants to keep you alive. It knows that high sugar in the blood is toxic. It is dangerous. If sugar stays high in your blood, it acts like shards of glass. It scratches the lining of your arteries, the endothelium. This is where heart disease actually starts. It's not the cholesterol. It's the inflammation caused by the sugar scratching the artery. And the cholesterol just comes in like a bandage to patch it up. So, your brain senses this emergency. It screams at your pancreas, "We have a crisis. Sugar is too high." Your pancreas responds by pumping out a massive wave of a hormone called insulin. Think of insulin as the key that unlocks the door to your cells to let the sugar in. But when you eat this carb-heavy breakfast, you need a flood of insulin. And this is where the damage happens. When insulin is high, 3 things happen instantly. Number 1, fat burning stops completely. Insulin is a storage hormone. You cannot burn fat when insulin is present. So that healthy breakfast just told your body to store fat for the next 4 to 6 hours. Number 2, the crash. Because your pancreas panicked and released so much insulin, it does its job too well. It shoves all that sugar out of your blood and into your cells. Your blood sugar plummets. This is called reactive hypoglycemia. Have you ever noticed that 2 hours after a bowl of oatmeal, you are starving, you feel shaky, you have brain fog, you need another cup of coffee, you're irritable? That is the crash. Your brain runs on glucose, and when the floor drops out, your brain goes into panic mode. And this brings us to number 3, and this is the most critical point that nobody talks about, the cortisol spike. When your blood sugar crashes at 10:30 a.m., your body thinks it is dying of starvation. It activates your adrenal glands to release cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol's job is to break down your muscle tissue, to turn it into sugar, to bring your levels back up. So, look at the cycle you have created. You spiked your insulin, which stored fat. Then you crashed, which spiked your cortisol. And do you know where cortisol loves to store fat? Specifically in the visceral area, the belly fat, the deep fat that surrounds your organs. So, this heart-healthy breakfast is actually the perfect recipe for gaining belly fat and stressing your heart. I want to talk about something called glycation. It sounds like a big medical word, but it's very simple. Imagine dipping your finger in maple syrup. It's sticky, right? When your blood sugar spikes from that juice and banana, your blood literally becomes sticky. The sugar molecules bind to the proteins in your blood. This process is called glycation. When proteins get glycated, they become stiff. They lose their flexibility. This happens to the collagen in your skin, which is why high sugar diets cause premature wrinkles and aging. But more importantly, it happens to your blood vessels. Your arteries are supposed to be flexible, able to expand and contract. But when they are constantly exposed to these sugar spikes, they become stiff. They become brittle. This leads to high blood pressure. This leads to poor circulation. This is why I say you are rusting from the inside out. That sticky blood cannot deliver oxygen efficiently to your brain, your heart, or your nerves. And timing matters. We have to talk about the dawn phenomenon. In the morning, your body naturally has higher cortisol levels. This is designed to wake you up, but cortisol naturally raises your blood sugar slightly. So, in the morning, you are already naturally a little bit insulin resistant. Your body is not as good at handling sugar at 8 a.m. as it is at 6 p.m. So when you dump 80 or 90 grams of quick digesting carbohydrates into a system that is already resistant, you are pouring gasoline on a fire. Now I know some of you are thinking, but Dr. Mandell, my grandfather ate oatmeal every day and lived to be 90. That is a great point. But your grandfather didn't eat this oatmeal. He likely ate stone ground oats that took 45 minutes to cook. He didn't drink 16 ounces of pasteurized orange juice that has been sitting in a tank for a year. And most importantly, your grandfather was likely moving his body all day long. He was working, walking, lifting. He was using that glucose as fuel immediately. Most of us today eat that high-carb breakfast, and then we go sit in a car, then we sit at a desk, then we sit on the couch. That sugar has nowhere to go. The muscles aren't asking for it. So the liver turns it into triglycerides, fat in the blood. High triglycerides are a direct risk factor for heart attack and stroke. I see patients all the time who are confused. They say, Dr. Mandell, I don't eat candy. I don't drink soda. Why are my triglycerides so high? Why is my A1C creeping up? And I ask them, what's for breakfast? And almost every time, it's the bagel, the cereal, the toast, the muffin, or the instant oatmeal with fruit. We have to break this cycle. We have to understand that organic sugar is still sugar to your pancreas. Natural honey is still sugar to your liver. Your body processes chemistry, not marketing claims. But please, don't lose hope, because the solution is actually incredibly simple. You don't have to starve yourself. You don't have to never eat a carbohydrate again. You just have to learn how to dress your carb. You have to learn the rules of biology. Let's talk about the antidote. Let's talk about how we fix this. I want to give you a strategy that is going to change your life within 24 hours. If you apply what I'm about to tell you, you will feel your energy stabilize instantly. Your brain fog will lift, and over the next few weeks, you will see that belly fat start to melt away because your insulin levels will finally come down. Strategy number 1, the ACV hack. This is one of the most powerful, scientifically proven tricks in the book. ACV stands for apple cider vinegar. Studies show that if you consume acetic acid, which is the main component of vinegar before a carbohydrate-heavy meal, it can reduce the blood sugar spike by up to 30%. How does it work? The acid temporarily inactivates the alpha amylase enzyme in your saliva and stomach. Remember, that's the enzyme that turns starch into sugar. By slowing down that enzyme, the oatmeal digests slower. It trickles into your blood instead of flooding it. Here is exactly what I want you to do. Take 1 tablespoon of organic apple cider vinegar. Mix it into a tall glass of water. Drink this with a straw to protect your teeth enamel about 10 to 15 minutes before you eat your breakfast. If you don't like vinegar, you can use the juice of half a lemon. It has a similar effect, though vinegar is stronger. This one simple habit, costing pennies a day, acts as a buffer for your blood sugar. Strategy number 2, never eat naked carbs. This is the golden rule of nutrition. A naked carb is a carbohydrate eaten alone. Just toast, just oatmeal, just a banana. You must put clothing on your carbs. And the clothing is fiber, protein, and healthy fat. When you mix fat and protein with starch, it changes the gastric emptying rate. It physically slows down how fast the food leaves your stomach. So, if you love your oatmeal and you don't want to give it up, here is how you remix it. First, switch from instant oats to steel cut oats. Steel cut oats are the whole kernel just chopped up. They have a lower surface area, so enzymes take longer to break them down. Second, add a healthy fat. Throw in a handful of walnuts or almonds. Add a tablespoon of chia seeds or flax seeds. These seeds form a gel in your stomach that traps the sugar and releases it slowly. Third, add protein. Maybe you stir in a scoop of protein powder, or you eat 2 hard-boiled eggs on the side. By adding the walnuts, fat, the chia fiber, and the eggs, protein, you have transformed that meal. You have blunted the spike. You will have steady energy instead of a crash. Strategy number 3, the fruit swap. We need to talk about fruit. Fruit is healthy, yes. It has vitamins and antioxidants. But some fruits are high sugar bombs, and others are low sugar gems. The banana, the mango, the grapes, the pineapple, these are the high glycemic fruits. They spike insulin fast. I want you to swap these for berries. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. Berries are nature's candy, but they are packed with fiber and they have a very low glycemic impact. The pigment in blueberries, anthocyanins, actually helps improve insulin sensitivity. So instead of the banana on your oats, put a cup of blueberries. You get the sweetness, you get the volume, but you don't get the spike. Your liver will thank you. Strategy number 4, the liquid rule. This one is non-negotiable if you are serious about your health. Stop drinking fruit juice. Eat the orange. Don't drink the juice. When you eat the orange, you get the white pith, the fiber, the pulp. It takes time to chew. It fills you up. You might eat 1 or 2 oranges, but it takes 6 oranges to make 1 glass of juice. You can drink that in 30 seconds. That is a massive overdose of fructose that goes straight to the liver, creating fatty liver disease over time. Swap the juice for water, black coffee, or green tea. Green tea contains EGCG, a compound that helps metabolism and insulin sensitivity. Strategy number 5, the power of cinnamon. I love cinnamon. It is one of the most studied spices for diabetes and blood sugar control. It creates a glucose mimicking effect, helping sugar get into your muscles without needing as much insulin, but you have to use the right kind. Most cinnamon in the store is cassia cinnamon. It's okay, but in high doses, it can be tough on the liver. You want to look for Ceylon cinnamon, Ceylon. It's often called true cinnamon. Add half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon to your breakfast. It adds flavor, sweetness without sugar, and it acts like medicine for your metabolism. Strategy number 6, the 10-minute walk. This is perhaps the most magical physiological hack of all. We have a mechanism in our bodies called GLUT4. These are little transporters that carry sugar from the blood into the muscle. Usually, they need insulin to open the door. But when you contract the muscle, when you walk, squat, or move, these GLUT4 transporters rise to the surface of the muscle cell without insulin. This means if you eat your breakfast and immediately go for a 10-minute walk, your muscles will suck that sugar right out of your bloodstream to use as fuel. You essentially bypass the need for a massive insulin spike. You don't need to run a marathon. Just 10 minutes. Walk around the block. Walk up and down your stairs. Do some squats while you brush your teeth. Just move your large muscle groups. This flattens the glucose curve significantly. Now, let's put this all together into a protocol. I want you to visualize your new morning. You wake up, you drink a tall glass of water to hydrate your cells. Maybe you add a squeeze of lemon or a spoon of apple cider vinegar. You prepare your breakfast. Instead of the instant sugary packet, you have prepared some steel-cut oats. Or maybe you decide to switch to a savory breakfast, which is even better. Imagine 3 eggs scrambled with spinach and avocado. That is a zero-spike breakfast. That is a breakfast that keeps your insulin low and your fat burning high. But if you have the oats, you add the walnuts, you add the chia seeds, you add the cinnamon, you swap the banana for blueberries, you eat slowly, you chew your food, digestion begins in the mouth. And when you are finished, you don't sit down. You put on your shoes and you go for a brisk 10-minute walk. You breathe in the fresh air. You let your muscles soak up that fuel. If you do this, you will notice something incredible around 10:30 a.m. or 11 a.m. You won't be hungry. You won't be shaking. You won't be looking for a donut. You will have steady, calm focus. Your energy will be consistent. Why? Because you didn't crash, because you didn't spike. You managed your biology. This is not just about weight loss. This is about longevity. This is about protecting your brain from Alzheimer's, which they are now calling type 3 diabetes because it is linked to insulin resistance in the brain. This is about protecting your eyesight from retinopathy. This is about saving your kidneys. Every time you keep your blood sugar stable, you are buying yourself quality years of life. I want you to try this breakfast remix for just 3 days. That's all I ask. 3 days. Pay attention to your energy. Pay attention to your cravings. Pay attention to your sleep quality. Most people tell me that after just a few days, the bloating goes away. The rings on their fingers feel looser because the inflammation is dropping. They sleep deeper because their cortisol rhythms are normalizing. It is amazing how resilient the human body is. It wants to heal. It is waiting for you to give it the right environment. When you stop flooding it with sugar and inflammation, it goes to work repairing the damage immediately. You have the power to fix this. You are not a victim of your genetics. You are the driver of your metabolism. So please, take a look at what is in your pantry. Read the labels. If the first ingredient is sugar or processed flour, think twice. Remember the triple threat oats, banana, juice. Break that combo up, add the fat, add the protein, add the fiber. Make sure you share this video with your friends and family. There are so many people suffering from unexplained fatigue, weight gain, and inflammation who are eating this exact healthy breakfast every day, not realizing it is the root cause of their problems. You can help them just by sharing this information. Listen to your body. Treat it with respect. Give it the fuel it needs, not the fuel that rusts it.